Hey guys, how you all doing? Before we get into this video, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you who have supported me through this entire journey of mine. It has been very difficult, from blogging to content writing, and now I make videos for you guys. All of this is possible only because you guys were there for me. You guys are truly awesome. Also, if you haven't checked my first video, make sure you click the link in the description, which I'll be adding after this video. Also, I am just 20 years old, so before you judge me about the books that I show you in this video, make sure that you know that I haven't really read on all books. It's just one of the few books which I've read, a few books which I think are my personal favorites and I think which create an impact on me. So without much ado, let's hop into the video. So the first book in my list is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. It is one of the best books that I have written. I have to admit this. This book is fabulously written. It was gifted to me a year ago by a friend because I kept pestering and I kept asking for this book right before my birthday. And it was pretty good when I had it and I started reading it. But in the end, it was amazing. Also, it does make it to the top 5 of my books because at no point did I find the book to be deviated, or at no point was it really boring. The events kept happening one after the other, and that kept me reading this book altogether. And I finished it in less than a day because I just wanted to know what was happening in the end. The movie did not disappoint me either. But the book, as you guys know, is always. So the number 2 in my list is The Complete Mouse by Art Spiegelman, who has written this entire graphic novel about himself and his father. This book has created such an impact on me. I tell you, it is going to create an impact on anybody who actually reads it. So the story behind this book, which you see is not printed, which is not an original book. The reason is I could not find the book here in Coimbatore. And I wanted to order it online, but it showed me 7 to 10 days of waiting period of the delivery time. And I was just too impatient to actually get the book. So I found this PDF online, which was the book, and I got it printed and I made it into a book. So it's a graphic novel, if you see. It is one of the best graphic novels I've ever read. I enjoy graphic novels sometimes, and this book has taken me away. I had this book hangover after I read this. I just couldn't get over the fact about prison camps in Germany and how they were treated, how some of them were slaughtered and how some of them survived. This book does create an impact on anybody, and that is why it is number 2 on my list. The number 3 on my list is Swami and Friends by R.K. Narayan. This was one of the first books that I read when I was 10 years old, and it was my first purchase of my own money, of my own pocket money. And I was very, very happy getting my own book. I wanted to try Indian authors because I had read Enid Blyton and a lot of other authors who weren't Indian. So I gave it a shot, and this book, I'm telling you, I cherish it till date. This book is about Swami who lives in a small town called Malgudi, which is an imaginary town created by R.K. Narayan himself. And he adds elements into this story which makes us believe that such a town actually exists in India. It is about Swami who explores life, who understands life, and sees how religion and politics play a major role in everybody's life. Though it does get a pretty intense in between, it smooths out in the end, and it is really a very good read for anybody who's starting to read. Number 4 on my list is Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who has made this incredible story about a detective named Sherlock Holmes and his assistant named Watson. I got this when I was 15 years old, and those were the times when I used to read small books, around 200 pages, 300 pages of the book. But when I got this book as a gift, I was pretty sure I could not finish this book. So anyway, I took it as a challenge. I just wanted to see how good these large books can really be. 10 pages into the book, and I was enthralled by how good this book really was. This book had so many twists and so many turns that in the end, I just had no idea what was going to happen to me, because I was totally into crime. In the middle, I even wanted to become a detective, just like Sherlock Holmes, because this book really inspired me a lot. I think everybody needs to read Sherlock Holmes at least once in their lifetime. I have this old vintage collection of the book, which I know I'm going to keep it with me forever. So people who are actually looking for a book that is going to keep you engaged for at least a month, I think Sherlock Holmes is a good choice. Number 5 on my list is one of my personal favorites, that is J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter, the series. I got this book when I was 17 years old, when I actually wanted to read all the books of Harry Potter because of the rants I heard from other people. People kept telling me about Harry Potter and I didn't know much. So I made a point that I'm going to buy this book within the next 2 months, and I saved every penny that I had. And what happened was, after 2 months, I loaned some money and I got this entire series. It is pretty expensive, but it gives you 7 books, and that's the best part. I don't really have to tell you much about Harry Potter. You know what Harry Potter really is. But I'm going to tell you about the impact it created on me. When I was reading part by part, I realized the entire story was beautifully written for 7 books, and at no point was it really boring. The events kept happening, it was all real. It, in fact, has the capacity of taking you away from reality and keeping you in a place, a wizarding world. When I was reading the last part, it got pretty emotional for me because I just had no courage to finish the book, because I knew that I was going to cry after the 7 books. I wanted more of Harry Potter, but I had to finish the book. And when I read the last page, I found out that there has to be more of this. So what I did was I made sure I took a break for around a couple of months, and I started reading again, and I finished the book, the entire series. So this is the impact it creates, no matter how old you are. I am telling you this. Even if you're 40 years old, or even if you're 60 years old and you have absolutely nothing to do, I think Harry Potter is the thing you need to buy. And if you guys haven't gone to a store and seen Harry Potter, there is absolutely no way you went to a proper store. And I think Harry Potter is one of the best books that I've actually read throughout my entire journey of 20 years. And the last book in my series is my absolute favorite, which is The Book Thief by Markus Zusak. I kept this book in the last because it is one of the best books that I've read, and it is the book I suggest to everybody. So it's pretty predictable for people who have actually known me that I was going to add the book in this list. I don't have a physical copy of the book because it costs a lot and I did not have sufficient money to buy one. After I bought all of these, I wanted to buy The Book Thief, but I found one of my friends already had it. So I immediately borrowed and read it. And it was one of the best experiences that I've ever had while reading a book. It is a story about Liesel, who's a little girl in Germany who's captured, whose entire town is bombed frequently, and she has to see all of that in a very young age. It just takes your breath away, and there's so much to learn from her because the amount of energy she shows in the book and the amount of pride she has about her own identity is just out of the world. And I haven't read any better book than The Book Thief by Markus Zusak. There's absolutely no book that is better than this. Also, this book has created a lot of impact in my life. When I read this when it was a difficult time in my life, I did not know what I was doing. I didn't want to start. I was too lazy. But when I read this book and I found out about Liesel, who's actually took a physical form in my entire life, and I started believing that she actually was true and she actually faced all of this. I googled it if it was a true story too. So it created a huge impact on me. I started crying after the end because of the main reason that the book is narrated by Death himself. I started crying in the end. I didn't know what to do. I wanted more of this book. I read the entire book in a single sitting because at no point did I want to actually take a break. That was the impact it created on me. So this is it. These were the top 6 books I would suggest anybody to read it. I love these books, and I don't think that there are better books than these. If you're wondering why there aren't classics or any book that you actually found very interesting into my list, it's probably because there are chances I haven't read it or I just didn't fancy it. So let me know in the comments below what you think about these 6 books, and if you think that I need to read more, and if you have suggestions, let me know in the comments below. Till then, keep reading and see you in the next video.